Last week, I asked you what hyper-realistic cake I should make next. So I placed 5 of your cake ideas in this hat. Whatever I pick, I'm gonna turn into a hyper-realistic cake today. I'm nervous, but I know all the ideas are great. But I also know that a few of them are gonna be really difficult. The cake that I'm making today is... it's a water bottle. I love it and I'm terrified I might not be able to pull it off. Thank you so much for the suggestion, Shinigami's Love Apples. And thank you to the 4 others who made it into the hat but weren't chosen. I really appreciate you sharing your ideas. My name is Natalie Sidesurf and I make cakes that don't look like cakes. And today I'm going to make a cake of a water bottle. Let's check out our water bottle options. I don't want to go green. Green doesn't scream water. The label doesn't wrap all around the bottle with this one. We've got this gap here, so I don't want that. I'll explain why later. I like this one, but the label is translucent. I don't want it see-through, so I'm left with these 2. They're similar in size, and they both have a fun wavy line design. The biggest difference between the 2 is the size of the label, so I choose the one that has the larger label. You are the winner! I can't believe I picked water bottle out of the hat. I've actually thought about making a water bottle cake in the past, but I've been avoiding it because I'm not sure if it can be done. I have to admit, my confidence level right now is not great. I'd say the chances of me being able to pull this off is probably like
50-50.
because I'm about to try out a bunch of techniques that I'm not super familiar with. But I'm excited. I don't know if this cake's gonna work out. You don't know if this cake's gonna work out.
I'm loving the unknown.
The first thing I gotta do is make a mold of the top and the bottom of the water bottle. So I'm taping a sheet of clear acetate around a piece of foam board twice. So I'm left with 2 cups, one for the top and one for the bottom. I'm placing a real water bottle in the cup, and then I gotta tape it down because I know from experience, if I don't, once I add this molding material, the water bottle will fall over. You know what? I'm gonna try something. I'm always super busy making cake videos, and that means that it's really hard for me to find time to cook. So a lot of days I find myself eating quick frozen meals or even fast food. That's why I'm so excited to tell you about CookUnity. They provide meals made with fresh ingredients delivered right to your front door by award-winning chefs. The subscription is super flexible, and you can pause, skip weeks, or cancel at any time. For my first order, I got the Mediterranean chicken thighs with artichokes by Chef Andres Mendez. As I heated up my first meal, I asked myself, I wonder if I'm gonna be able to tell that these meals are prepared by professional chefs. And
Guess what?
I could absolutely tell that professional chefs made my meal. The flavors are complex, the sauces are delicious, the ingredients are fresh. You guys have got to try it. CookUnity chefs offer up a wide range of meals with over 7 different dietary preference filters, including vegan, paleo, and gluten-free options. Go to cookunity.com/sidesurf or click the link in the description and use my code SIDESURF50 to get 50% off your first order of CookUnity meals. You gotta try them, it's delicious. And now back to the cake. I'm gonna pour this molding material into this measuring cup because the measuring cup has a little spout, and I know I'm bound to spill if I try just using that bowl. Success! We have the bottom mold ready. I set that aside, and it's time to make a mold of the top of the water bottle. Taping this one down is a little more awkward, but I figured it out and it feels pretty secure. So I'm pouring in the molding material, and we just gotta let these babies cool down. I feel like the question on everyone's mind is,
Where is the cake gonna go?
and to answer that question, I'd like to go back to the original suggestion. When Shinigami's Like Apples suggested the water bottle cake, they also said I could sugar print a label and hide cake behind it. That is a fantastic idea. That's what I'm gonna do. So here I'm stacking a cake the height that I want the label to be, and I'm filling the gap between the acetate and the cake with white chocolate. Then I can just put it in the fridge to harden, and I'll end up with a very smooth surface to place a label over. I'll unwrap this cake and show you what I mean once it's chilled. And back to the molds. Gotta get all that green tape off of there. This one's kinda difficult. I'm having a little trouble getting the water bottle out of the mold. This would be a lot easier if there wasn't water in the water bottle. Wait, I can empty this water bottle. The thing about this cake that's either going to make it or break it is the gelatin, specifically the color of the gelatin. Gelatin has a yellow tint to it. It's never perfectly clear, and in order for this cake to look realistic, I don't want the gelatin to have that yellow tint. And I think I have a solution. I found myself some super clear gelatin online. This packet on the right is the typical gelatin that I buy at my grocery store, the brand that has a yellow tint. So we're gonna do a little test with these two brands. On the right, I'm making gelatin with my regular brand, and on the left, I'm making gelatin with the Super Clear brand, the brand I've never used before. I really, really hope that this Super Clear brand is more clear than the brand I typically use. All I gotta do is warm them up, and now we can compare the two, and this is exactly what I didn't want to happen. They're both very yellow. I'm really disappointed because that means that my water bottle cake is not going to be super clear like I had hoped. The last color that I want my water bottle to be is yellow. So I'm adding a super, super tiny amount of purple food color to make it a little more gray. I prefer gray over yellow. Remember how I just said super, super tiny amount? Okay. I put in too much purple. Here I have a brand new batch that I made since I completely ruined the first one, and I'm gonna try my best to actually add a super tiny amount. All right, this is better. It's not super clear, but it is less yellow than it was. I think this is as good as I'm gonna get it. So now I can finally fill the top and bottom water bottle molds with my gelatin. I have no clue how these are gonna look. While we let them cool down, let's go back to the cake. Now here's something that I think I got right. Let's pop it out. Yeah, this definitely worked. This was an easy way to make a clean, cylinder-shaped cake. Nice, smooth chocolate sides, the right height. This is gonna work. I'm so disappointed in the color of the gelatin that I needed this win. Okay, the gelatin is firm, so let's take it out of the mold and see how it looks. Right off the bat, I'm noticing that things are a bit sticky. The gelatin's kinda sticking to the sides. And it looks horrible. Let's see how the top looks. I was afraid this might happen. Ideally, I would have poured gelatin into a silicone mold rather than this particular rubber-like mold, but I couldn't find a food-safe option at the store. So I used the reusable molding material that I typically use. But the thing is, I typically use it for chocolate. I know it works for chocolate. I was not aware it wasn't gonna work with gelatin. I am very close to giving up. The color's off, the molds are messy. I have one final idea of how I might be able to make this cake still work. I am going to fill the actual water bottle with gelatin. So I'm using the actual water bottle as a mold. I don't know why I didn't think of this at the beginning. I did something similar with a milk jug cake not that long ago, and that worked. For that cake, I used chocolate, not gelatin, so it is possible that I might have some issues here, but I still think it's worth a try. All right, this is my last shot. I'm gonna let this gelatin firm up. We'll see how it looks in just a little bit. In the meantime, I gotta make a cap. Now I know I'm gonna be able to pull off this cap. I'll press molding putty onto the real cap, fill it with white chocolate, and then I just pop it out. I've been doing this for many, many years. It's much more predictable than some of the other techniques I did today. All right, it's about time to check on that gelatin. I sure hope it works. If it doesn't, then I guess I just don't have a cake. This would be my first video ever that I fail so hard that I end it with no cake. All right, let's pop the gelatin out of the bottle. And it looks much better than my first try. What a relief. I went into this cake knowing it was a real possibility that it would be a total failure. And it has been a bumpy road. But you know what? At the beginning of all this, I told myself that I was gonna make a cake of one of your suggestions no matter what it is. And no matter how difficult the cake. Because I know that even if this doesn't turn out perfect, I tried out some techniques that I had never done before, and I learned a lot, including what not to do in the future. If it weren't for you guys, I may have avoided this water bottle cake forever. So thanks for the push. I really appreciate all of your suggestions. And there you have it, a water bottle cake. Yes, the color is still off, but I think I redeemed myself as far as the actual mold, and I love that I was able to include some cake behind the label. Now, this cake is gonna be a really fun cake to cut. And the sounds did not disappoint. Thanks again for all your cake suggestions, you guys. Keep them coming. If you like this video, subscribe to this channel right now because I post a brand new cake every week. And I'll see you next week for another cake.